Hello everyone, welcome back to Game Dev Night, and here's a little bit more progress before I completely change up the project. So how things work right now is I set up this complex system. I'll show you. So here we have the wave manager I talked about in the last video. So this is an auto load script, so it's always running. This isn't actually on an object. Um, and yeah, this is just a simple wave manager, I guess. It stores a list of enemies and their costs, and it has currency to spend on enemies, and it has a wave in, so very simple and a reference to the player. Um, and as you can see, when I create a wave, it just increases the wave number by 1. The currency is equal to the wave times 5, so if it's wave 10, 50 currency, whatever. And as you can see, a Nite costs 2 and a bat costs 3, so yeah, wave 1 it can spawn one of these two. You get the gist. It's not that complex. And yeah, so it'll do enemies to spawn is equal to generate enemy waves. This just returns a list of enemies to spawn. And as you can see, I'm not going to explain it because I don't want this to be too long. Um, it just loops through the enemies, checks the cost, and yeah, reduces the available currency by the cost of the enemies, returns a list, and then it says start wave, which down here, start wave, it emits a signal, which the castle listens to. And when the castle starts wave, it's actually called wave start. Yeah, it sets its own list to the wave manager's list, and it sets a bool to true, which just means it can spawn. And in the update, process, it checks if it can spawn. It has a simple timer loop, and it just, if the enemy's to spawn size is more than 0, spawn the enemy. So not too complex. And at the end, set the bool to false. It also increases the enemy's speed by the wave count. So just to add a little bit of scaling to the game right now in testing, enemy speed up. And then it just has a button that starts the wave. Very simple, and it has a toggle for automatically starting waves, so you don't need to worry about that. So yeah, this is a little bit complex, more than it has to be, because obviously all of this can just be on the wave manager, but I did this specifically for referencing. So there's a lot of referencing in this, with the enemies, the wave manager, and the castle. So there's a lot of referencing between all of these three systems. As you can see, the enemy has really big script. So yeah, there's a lot of referencing. I cleaned up the code quite a lot. Sorry, I'm struggling to talk. It's my first conversation. They just started, and yeah, there's commenting. I added some commenting. Not the best commenting, but it's just to get a little bit used to commenting. So these just explain step by step what the functions do. So yeah, not too bad. I changed up a lot of other code. I won't really show it right now, but I'll show you one thing, and that's just that the hitbox now emits a signal, and anything it needs to know if the hitbox has been entered and what entered it. So, if a projectile hits an enemy or something, I'll just show you where's the player projectile. So it just listens, as you can see. Object entered, it's subscribed up here. Well, not subscribed, but yeah, it connects this function to that signal. Kind of cool. So this just happens when something hits the hitbox. So yeah, that's what I did with basically everything. So things are a lot more clean now and efficient and just easy to read and understand. So another thing is you'll see this border, which I just did off a line node. This would be like a line render in Unity. So yeah, this is just the border of the world. This doesn't actually have collision. It is on the player script. There is a world size, vector 2 for the X and vector 2 for the Y. So I'm not using any collisions or anything to make the project harder for myself. I'm basically doing everything from scratch. Oh, look at that, I can use a touchscreen to actually move around kind of easily. So yeah, it's kind of cool. Um, not using built-in stuff like a collider and rigid body and all that. I'm doing everything myself. But obviously, comes with its quirks. So I did add sound to the game, and I'll have to turn that down really, really badly, or Actually, I won't turn it out. I'm gonna leave it how it is, but I'm not gonna talk while the sound's playing. It's kind of loud, and I can't really talk over it, and I can't even like really hear it. So hear myself while I'm talking. So yeah, we'll see how that sounds. I'm just giving an audio warning right now because music's gonna play, stuff's gonna play. It's a little loud. But yeah, for me it's fine. I've sent this to two other people. Sound has been fine for them. So hopefully this isn't like extremely loud for anyone listening. So maybe just turn down YouTube volume a little bit till the sound starts playing. But yeah, I'm gonna hit play. I'm going to basically turn off my microphone completely so I can hook up my mouse and actually play. But yeah, there isn't much to show. Enemies just spawn from this one point and come to me. It's not that complex, but I'm going to change up everything, completely delete the castle script, and instead have, you'll see, it's going to be much cooler. But this is just testing phase, but I just want to show it off before I make all these big changes. So yeah, let me disconnect my microphone and I will be back. So, hello again. Hope you guys like that. So, it's not too complex. But yeah, I just want to show off that it actually works. This is my first like complex system in Godot, I guess. It's not too complex, but doing something in a language I've never used, it took a while, to say the least. But as you can see, it's actually not too bad. So yeah, in the last video I did say that the player can die, and well, now you can see the player can die. I didn't really change anything at all, but yeah, it works. Um, I'll tell you how detection works as well for damage. I think I did explain that in the last video, but I'll just point it out again. So you'll see on stuff I have a type component, which has friendly or enemy. Basically, enemies don't damage enemies, friendlies don't damage friendlies. So that's all pretty much. Just a simple type system. And yeah, this border you see is actually on the player. You see this yellow line. It's a little buggy. I can't really show it properly. I think it's because of how small my screen is. But this yellow line is a box all the way around. And that's actually a limit for this camera. It's a built-in thing in Godot. So the camera has actually got a dead zone. So yeah, I thought it looked kind of nice. I tried to show it off in that little demonstration. But as you can see, I let the player see a little bit outside the world border. So I'll give a little info about what it's going to be. Is this castle? There'll be castles around the outside, and you'll be able to see them from the inside, but you won't be able to do anything to them. But that's what enemies will spawn from. So just a little indicator. And as you saw, the enemies do flip based on the player's position. So if you're to the left, they'll face left. If you're to the right, to the right. And here you can actually see I do print out information like how many enemies are left in the wave. So I will put in UI for that as well. So there'll be kind of like a zombies, Call of Duty zombies. There'll be an enemy counter to see how many enemies are left. And there'll be a there's a little print that says the wave's been killed. So that's essentially where I'm gonna start the phase where there'll be like a little shop, you can buy stuff. There'll be a little campfire where you restore some health, and then there'll be like something to start the next wave. So I'm actually gonna remove these buttons completely. So they're there right now, but they're gonna be removed. To toggle obviously won't be in the game as well. But yeah, I'll be removing these buttons. I'm gonna make it a physical thing instead. Maybe like a dummy or a weird thing you shoot, and then when it dies, it starts the next wave. But we'll see. So pretty cool. I'm happy with it so far. And yeah, I don't really have much else to say. Um, some notes again. As you saw, when enemies are clumped up and I shoot at them, it actually damages all of them. So it wasn't really intentional, and they could probably fix it pretty easily. But I think we'll leave that in. So we'll see how that goes in future. I kind of do want to keep working on this, and because I was going to leave it right here. The whole point of this was just to learn referencing and learn a bit more about UI and just some more about Godot, and I think I've done that. There's a lot I would change if I made another project, but I think I'm gonna work on this. I think I'll try and improve it a bit more, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. Sorry, I'm just messing around with my mouse pad. It's distracting me. So we'll see how that goes. I'll work on it a bit more, try and make it like an actual game loop. I want to put in items like Risk of Rain that you just pick up and they grant you like a passive buff. I also just want to add, I don't know if I'll add levels necessarily, but I'll add a shop where you can buy upgrades. Yeah, I'll just add a shop where you can buy upgrades. I don't think I want to do an actual XP system. I don't want to make it too complex because that doesn't really teach me anything. XP is just like having another currency. There isn't really anything to it. And this whole project point is to help me learn. So yeah, I'll implement a shop system and some items. And I'm also going to put a potion in the game that you just consume, gives you health back, and it just recharges based on killing enemies. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Very simple, not too much to look forward to, but hopefully it turns into a little bit of a satisfying game. I'd kind of like to have a game on Steam, so I wouldn't actually mind having this as my first game on Steam. I really do like the art style. I like the feel of it so far. Oh, and that music you heard, there's a playlist on YouTube. It's called Copyright Free 8-Bit Music. They're all a bit more space themed, like retro, like space shooters, but yeah, this one is like a dungeon boss fight track. So I thought it sounded pretty cool. So not my music. Please don't think I'm that good. I love this song. But yeah, it's not mine. So that's it, guys. Sound effects as well. I just found them online. They're not my own. They are simple sound effects, but yeah. The enemies shouting when they're at half health, the knights specifically, the bats actually don't shout. It's a chance, so they have a chance to yell when you get them to half health. That was me just adding more like complexity to the game, just to see if I could do that. But yeah, so they have a really low chance of yelling when they get damaged below half health, just as like a bit of a war cry. But yeah, the bats don't do it. It's just the knights, so it's kind of cool. Yeah, it's called grunt when it's yell. The actual sound effect, you see it right here. It's called dragon pain, muffled pain. It's a little bit weird. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. And obviously, yeah, this UI doesn't look great. Again, I did make this font myself, and I'm kind of happy with it. I think I'll keep the font how it is. But yeah, I'll work on the UI a bit. And yeah, essentially, I want a fun game loop, a shop system, a high score system, and a nice looking death screen. I want it to show what killed you, and I want it to show stats like enemies killed, damaged out, like just show everything. And that's essentially it. And on the main menu, I just want play, settings, exit. I don't want much. Uh, just a simple little game. So we'll see how that goes. Hope you guys have a nice day, and thank you for watching. Bye bye.